The sleek silver ship glided through the swirling clouds of the planet, known as Vexor 9, its hull glinting under the dim light of a distant sun. The crew of the starship Orinthia had heard countless tales of this world, filled with treacherous landscapes and creatures that could end a life with a single strike. The mission was simple: gather data and report back, but curiosity fueled their ambition. They wanted to uncover the secrets of Vexor 9. As the ship descended into the atmosphere, a violent storm brewed below. Dark clouds roiled like a living creature. Flashes of lightning illuminated the jagged peaks of mountains that cut through the surface like knives. The explorers steadied themselves against the turbulence, ripping their consoles as they navigated the craft down to the surface with practiced precision. Touchdown was rough. The ship bounced violently before settling onto the uneven ground. The crew exchanged glances filled with both trepidation and excitement. They had landed in a clearing surrounded by dense foliage and towering trees that reached toward the sky like ancient guardians. One of the explorers, a tall being with silver skin, named Kale, led the team out of the ship, his eyes wide with wonder as he took in the alien beauty around them. The air was thick with humidity and the scent of damp earth mixed with something sweet yet foreign. They had expected desolation, but instead found life, vibrant and tenacious. The group gathered their equipment and stepped cautiously into the thick underbrush. The sounds of strange animals echoed in the distance as they ventured deeper into the wild. With each step they took, the landscape revealed itself more vividly. The ground was littered with colorful plants. Some glowed softly in the dim light, while others pulsed with an energy that seemed to resonate in the air. The explorers documented everything, fascinated by the diversity and resilience of the flora they encountered. They soon came across small structures nestled between the trees, intricately woven from the very materials of the planet. These dwellings stood in stark contrast to the harsh environment, and Kale's heart raced with intrigue as they approached the nearest building. It was a round hut adorned with vibrant tapestries depicting scenes of nature and survival. The explorers exchanged whispers, filled with anticipation. They had read reports of human survival on Vexor 9, but had never seen any evidence of it. Suddenly the door to the hut creaked open, revealing a figure silhouetted against the warm light. Inside, a human woman stepped out, her expression shifting from surprise to caution as she observed the strange beings before her. Her clothes were made from the very fibers of the plants around them, blending seamlessly with the environment. She held a spear, fashioned from a sturdy branch, her eyes narrowing as she assessed the visitors. Kale raised his hands in a gesture of peace, signaling that they meant no harm. The woman's posture relaxed slightly, but she remained guarded. Her world had taught her caution. The explorers were struck by her resilience, the way she stood firm against the unknown, as if she were the guardian of this fragile paradise. As they began to communicate, a chorus of sounds erupted from the jungle. The woman turned sharply, her eyes scanning the trees for signs of danger. Kale sensed the tension in the air, his instincts heightened. They were not alone. The sounds grew louder and more menacing. The explorers exchanged anxious glances, aware that they had intruded into a world far more complex than they had anticipated. In that moment of uncertainty, the human woman beckoned them to follow her into the safety of her home. The explorers hesitated, but the urgency in her movements compelled them forward. They could sense the danger lurking beyond the foliage, the thrill of discovery mingling with the instinct to survive. With every step deeper into the settlement, the explorers realized they were about to witness something extraordinary, a culture shaped by adversity where survival was not just a goal, but a way of life. On Vexor 9, the adventure was just beginning, and the mysteries of this world awaited their unraveling. Inside the human settlement, the atmosphere shifted from tension to curiosity as the explorers stepped into the warm glow of the hut. The interior was surprisingly spacious, adorned with handcrafted items made from local materials, vibrant textiles draped over makeshift furniture, creating an inviting space. The woman motioned for them to sit, and they complied, eager to learn more about this resilient culture. As they settled in, the woman introduced herself as Mira, her voice strong yet melodic. She began to share stories of her community, recounting the trials they faced on Vexor 9, each tale filled with danger and ingenuity. The explorers listened intently, captivated by her vivid descriptions of storms that could strip the land bare in moments and predators that roamed the shadows ready to strike. Mira explained how the humans had adapted to their environment, building homes that blended with the natural landscape. Using the very resources around them, their tools crafted from stone and wood were not mere instruments, but extensions of their will shaped through necessity and creativity. The explorers exchanged glances, realizing that what they had once viewed as primitive was in fact a testament to human ingenuity. As the conversation flowed, they learned about the various crops the community cultivated using hydroponics and irrigation systems that channeled precious water from underground springs. Even in a world fraught with peril, they had developed sustainable practices to ensure their survival, each harvest a victory against the harsh realities of their planet. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed from outside the hut, causing the walls to tremble. Mira's expression changed, her body tensing as she stood abruptly. The explorers instinctively followed her lead, their hearts racing. They had read about the creatures of Vexar 9, but experiencing the raw power of one up close was something entirely different. Mira gestured for them to stay quiet as she moved to a window, peering outside, her sharp gaze scanning the surroundings. The explorers crowded behind her, straining to catch a glimpse of the danger that lurked beyond the walls of their temporary sanctuary. They could see shadows moving among the trees, a massive figure prowling closer, its presence sending chills down their spines. With a quick motion, Mira reached for her spear, crafted from a sturdy branch and reinforced with shards of glinting stone. She turned to the explorers, her voice steady. "We need to protect the settlement," she said. "Every moment counts." The explorers exchanged looks of disbelief, but the urgency in her eyes compelled them to act. They could not simply stand by as danger approached. Kale took a deep breath, stepping forward. This was not a scenario they had anticipated, yet the thrill of the unknown ignited a fire within him. "We can help," he declared, surprising even himself. The other explorers nodded in agreement. Although they were far from warriors, they had technology and knowledge that could be valuable in this fight. Together they devised a plan. Mira instructed them to gather tools and weapons, while she organized the defense of the settlement. They moved quickly, adrenaline coursing through their veins. The explorers harnessed their skills, working alongside the humans as a united front against the impending threat. As the roar grew louder, Mira led them into the heart of the settlement, where the inhabitants had already begun to prepare. The air buzzed with urgency and determination. The sense of community was palpable. They were not just fighting for survival, but for each other, for their home and their way of life. The humans showcased their combat skills, moving with a grace that belied their strength, while the explorers equipped themselves with whatever makeshift weapons they could find. They would stand together in this moment, forging an alliance that transcended species in the face of a common enemy. As they awaited the creature's arrival, tension hung thick in the air. The storm clouds gathered above, reflecting the turmoil within each heart. They were no longer mere observers of this world. They were now an integral part of it, bound by courage and resilience, ready to confront whatever came their way. The ground trembled beneath them as the creature drew closer, its roar echoing through the trees like a death knell. The humans moved swiftly, taking positions around the settlement, while Kale and the other explorers gathered their makeshift weapons, readying themselves for the unknown. Fear coursed through them, but it was mingled with determination as they formed a line beside Mira, who stood resolute, her spear glinting in the fading light. The creature emerged from the shadows, a massive beast with scales that shimmered like polished metal. Its eyes glowed a fierce yellow as it scanned the area, hunger and rage emanating from its every movement. It was a predator at the top of the food chain, and they were its prey. The explorers exchanged anxious glances, realizing the gravity of the situation they were in. Mira shouted orders, her voice cutting through the rising panic. Every member of her community fell into formation, each human demonstrating the training and resilience that had been honed through countless encounters with threats like these. They had faced death before and had learned to fight back with unity and strength. As the beast charged forward, the humans sprang into action. Mira darted ahead, using her agility to draw its attention away from the others. She danced around its massive paws, striking at its vulnerable spots with precision. Kale and the explorers followed her lead, using their technology to create distractions, blinding the creature with flashes of light and sound. Kale felt a surge of adrenaline as he launched a flare device into the air. The brilliant light burst overhead, illuminating the battlefield. He could see the chaos unfolding. The humans were fighting with ferocity, their movements synchronized as if they were part of a greater whole. The explorers provided support wherever they could, using their devices to enhance the humans' natural abilities. The creature reared back, roaring in frustration, its massive head snapping toward Kale as it caught sight of the intruders. A primal instinct drove it to eliminate the source of its annoyance. Mira seized the moment and struck again, driving her spear into its flank. The creature howled in pain, but its fury only intensified as it lunged at her. In that instant, Kale acted without thinking. He hurled a small explosive device at the beast. It detonated with a loud bang, sending debris flying and drawing the creature's attention away from Mira. The explosion created a momentary distraction, allowing her to retreat and regroup with her community. But the fight was far from over. The creature shook off the pain as it turned back toward Kale, its eyes filled with rage and hunger. The explorers realized they needed a new strategy. If they were to survive this encounter, they needed to capitalize on the creature's rage and redirect it away from the humans. Mira rallied her community, urging them to adapt their tactics. She had a plan. They would lure the beast into a trap, using the environment to their advantage. As they executed their strategy, the humans moved like shadows through the tree's Kale, and the explorers followed closely, relying on their advanced technology to assist in the maneuver. They led the creature deeper into the dense forest, where the trees grew thicker and the underbrush tangled around its massive legs. With every step it took, the humans used their knowledge of the land to create barriers and obstacles. The beast struggled to keep up, its movements growing more frantic. Hale felt a mix of fear and exhilaration coursing through him. They were no longer simply observers, they were warriors fighting alongside their human allies. Together, they created a dynamic dance of strategy and strength as they worked to outsmart the creature rather than overpower it. Finally, they reached a clearing where the ground was uneven and scattered with rocks. Mira signaled for everyone to stop. They had drawn the creature into their trap. Now all they had to do was execute the final phase of their plan. The air was thick with tension as they prepared to face the beast one last time, a united front, ready to protect their home at any cost. As the creature thrashed in frustration, the clearing echoed with its furious roars. The humans and explorers stood poised for action. Mira raised her spear, signaling the others to fall back into a defensive formation. They had lured the beast into a space where they could utilize their surroundings to their advantage, and now it was time to strike as a cohesive unit. Kale felt the weight of the moment pressing down on him. The stakes had never been higher. The humans had placed their trust in him and his companions, and he was determined not to let them down. With the creature cornered, they had a unique opportunity to showcase their ingenuity and strength, the very qualities that had allowed them to thrive in such a hostile environment. Mira took the lead, moving stealthily through the underbrush, her eyes locked onto the creature. As it paced restlessly, its breath coming in heavy huffs, she motioned for Kale to follow her. They needed to get closer to understand the beast's weaknesses and exploit them. The explorers carefully navigated the uneven terrain, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. Suddenly, the creature lunged at a nearby tree, snapping its massive jaws at a branch that had just fallen from the storm. It seemed confused by the sudden change in its surroundings. The humans exchanged glances, recognizing this as their chance. Mira seized the moment, calling out a battle cry that reverberated through the clearing. It was a call to arms, a rallying point that ignited a fire in their hearts. With renewed vigor, the humans charged forward, using their agility to flank the creature from all sides, while Kale and the explorers provided support from a distance, using their technology to create barriers of light and sound, distracting the beast and drawing its attention away from the vulnerable humans. As the battle raged on, Kale noticed the resilience that radiated from the humans. They were not merely fighting for survival, they were fighting for their home, their families, and their way of life. Each movement was filled with purpose and determination. The explorer felt a profound sense of admiration for these individuals who had carved out a life in such a perilous world. Mira fought fiercely, weaving in and out of the creature's reach, her spear striking true. As she landed blows that weakened it further, the beast roared in agony, but it was not ready to succumb. It thrashed wildly, causing chaos in the clearing. Branches snapped and dirt flew into the air, obscuring their vision. Amidst the turmoil, Cale caught sight of a human child watching from a distance, eyes wide with fear and admiration. He felt a pang in his heart, recognizing the weight of their struggle. This child was not just a victim of circumstance, but a symbol of hope, a reminder of what they were fighting for. In that moment, Cale understood the significance of their alliance. The explorers were not just observers, they were part of this community fighting alongside their human counterparts, their fates intertwined in a battle against an unforgiving world. As the creature reared back for another charge, Cale shouted a warning. The humans quickly adjusted their positions, ready to execute the final phase of their plan. They had learned to anticipate each other's movements like a well-rehearsed dance, moving as one to counter the beast's every action. Finally, with a collective effort, they executed their strategy, drawing the creature toward a series of traps that had been set in the clearing. As it stumbled forward, the ground gave way, and the beast fell into a pit surrounded by sharp spikes. The humans erupted in cheers, but Mira's expression remained serious. She knew the battle was won, but the war for survival continued. The explorers shared in the victory, their hearts swelling with pride. They had witnessed the incredible resilience of the human spirit, and it was a moment they would carry with them forever. As they regrouped in the clearing, they recognized the bond they had formed through this trial. It was a connection that would only deepen as they continued their journey together in this dangerous world. As the dust settled in the clearing, the atmosphere shifted from chaos to triumph. The humans circled around the pit where the creature struggled, its roars now muted as it realized it had been defeated. The explorers stood with them, sharing in the exhilaration of victory, yet aware that this was only a momentary reprieve. The danger of Vexor 9 had not vanished, but transformed into an opportunity for growth and understanding. Mira stepped forward, her gaze fixed on the beast, her expression a mix of determination and compassion. She understood that every life mattered, even that of the creature they had fought. It was part of the intricate web of existence on this planet. She addressed her community, her voice strong despite the weariness that settled in her bones. We have survived another day, but we must learn from this encounter. We must honor the balance of life that surrounds us. The humans nodded, their faces lit with newfound resolve. They gathered together, sharing their thoughts on the battle, discussing strategies and insights gained from the encounter. Cale and the other explorers listened intently. They were not just spectators, but participants in this vibrant culture, learning the values that guided these resilient people. Cale felt a sense of camaraderie grow as he stood alongside Mira and her community. They shared their own experiences from their home planets, tales of survival, ingenuity, and cooperation, each story adding to the tapestry of understanding that was forming between them. The bond was palpable, a connection forged in the fires of adversity. As they exchanged ideas, Cale proposed a plan to enhance the humans' defenses. Using their advanced technology, they could create barriers and warning systems that would alert the community to future threats. Myra's eyes sparkled with excitement as she considered the possibilities this collaboration could bring. They would work together to ensure the safety of their home. Under Mira's guidance, the group began to brainstorm ideas for integrating their technologies with the humans' traditional methods. They discussed creating a network of sensors to monitor the movements of predators in the area while simultaneously developing training programs to enhance the combat skills of the community. Over the next few days, the explorers and humans worked side by side, their efforts a symphony of innovation and resilience. Hay was amazed by the humans' adaptability. They were quick to grasp the new technologies and incorporate them into their daily lives, blending them seamlessly with their established practices. As they toiled together, Cale discovered more about the culture that had endured on this treacherous planet. The humans had a deep respect for the land and its creatures. They practiced sustainable living, drawing from the earth without depleting it. Their connection to nature was profound, a lesson the explorers would carry back to their own worlds. One afternoon, as they gathered to share a meal prepared from the bounty of their combined efforts, Myra stood to address the group, her voice filled with gratitude. I am thankful for the strength we have found in each other. We are no longer just humans and explorers, we are allies united by a common purpose. The explorers felt a warmth spread through them, a sense of belonging. They had come to Vexor 9 seeking knowledge and adventure, but what they found was something far deeper, a community bound by resilience and hope in the face of adversity. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Kyle realized that they had not just forged an alliance, but a family that transcended the boundaries of species. They were all warriors in their own right, fighting for survival, but also for understanding and connection in a universe that often felt cold and indifferent. In that moment of shared laughter and stories, Kale understood that their journey was far from over, but they would face whatever lay ahead together as one, united by the spirit of resilience that defined both humans and explorers alike. As the days turned into weeks, the bond between the explorers and the human community deepened. They worked tirelessly to improve their defenses while sharing knowledge and skills that would benefit them both. Kale often found himself reflecting on the prejudices that had initially clouded his understanding of humanity. He had entered Vexor 9 with preconceived notions of weakness, but now he saw strength in every individual around him. Mira had become a close friend and ally. Her wisdom and resilience were inspiring. She taught the explorers about the nuances of survival on this planet, how each challenge faced was a lesson learned, and how community played a crucial role in overcoming adversity. The explorers, in turn, shared their advanced technologies, offering insights into strategies that could enhance their way of life. One evening, as they gathered around a fire to share stories and laughter, Kel decided to open up about his own journey. He spoke of the initial fear and hesitation he felt about encountering humans and how his perceptions had changed through their experiences together. He shared his admiration for their tenacity and the innovative spirit that defined them. The humans listened intently. Mira smiled encouragingly as Kale poured out his thoughts. He saw understanding reflected in their eyes as they shared their own experiences of prejudice and misunderstanding. They spoke of how they had often been judged by outsiders who saw only their struggles without recognizing the resilience that fueled their existence. This exchange of stories created an atmosphere of healing and camaraderie. The explorers and humans began to realize that they had more in common than they had previously thought. Both groups had faced adversity, and both had fought to survive in a world that often sought to undermine them. As barriers broke down, mutual respect flourished. One day during a training exercise, Mira suggested they spar with each other, exploring different fighting styles. The explorers were hesitant at first, unsure of how their advanced techniques would translate into a physical confrontation with the humans, but Mira insisted it was an opportunity to learn from one another, to adapt and grow. As they faced off, the humans displayed incredible agility and resourcefulness, their movements fluid and instinctual. Kale found himself challenged in ways he hadn't anticipated. The humans were fierce and passionate fighters, relying on their instincts and knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver their opponents. The sparring sessions evolved into friendly competitions that sparked laughter and camaraderie. With each encounter, the explorers learned to appreciate the depth of human training and experience, while the humans gained insights into the explorers' advanced techniques. The exchange became a celebration of unity rather than competition. Through these interactions, Kale began to shed the last remnants of his prejudices. He realized that strength was not solely defined by technology or combat prowess, but by the ability to adapt to one's circumstances, to learn and grow from every experience. He admired the way the humans embraced each challenge with open hearts and minds. One afternoon, after a particularly intense training session, Hale gathered the explorers and the humans for a meeting. He proposed an initiative to establish a council that would allow both groups to voice their ideas and concerns. This would ensure that decisions made in the settlement reflected the input of everyone involved. Mira beamed with pride as she recognized the importance of this proposal. It was a testament to their partnership and the respect they had cultivated through their shared experiences. The council would serve as a platform for continued collaboration, fostering an environment where creativity and resilience could flourish together. As they worked to establish the council, the humans and explorers felt a renewed sense of purpose. Their journey had become more than just a quest for survival. It was now about building a future together, one that honored the strengths of both communities and celebrated the unique qualities that each brought to the table. Through understanding and collaboration, they began to dismantle the barriers that had once separated them, forging a path forward that was filled with hope and possibility united by a shared vision of resilience and progress in a world that had once seemed unforgiving. As the council began to take shape, the air buzzed with excitement and purpose. Humans and explorers gathered in the central hut where discussions would be held. The atmosphere was charged with the promise of collaboration as they prepared to share their thoughts and ideas for the betterment of their community. Mira took the lead, standing at the front of the group, her voice strong and clear. She welcomed everyone and emphasized the importance of open communication and mutual respect in this newfound partnership. "We are here to learn from each other," she said. "Our strengths lie not just in our differences, but in our willingness to understand one another." The explorers listened intently as humans voiced their ideas and concerns. Many spoke passionately about their experiences on Vexar-9, sharing stories of hardship and resilience. Kale felt a swell of admiration as they described the ways they had learned to navigate the challenges of their environment, how they had found joy and purpose even in the face of adversity. In turn, the explorers shared their own perspectives, offering insights into their advanced technologies and strategies that could enhance the humans' way of life. They discussed the importance of data collection and analysis, how understanding patterns in nature could lead to improved crop yields and better defenses against predators. As the discussions progressed, Kale realized that this exchange of knowledge was not a one-way street. Both groups were learning from each other, adapting their approaches to create a more robust and resilient community. It was a dance of ideas, where each step forward was a testament to their growing understanding. One day, as the council met, Kale proposed a new initiative aimed at strengthening their defenses through collaborative training sessions that would blend human techniques with explorer technologies. His idea was met with enthusiasm as the humans recognized the value of integrating their combat skills with the advanced systems the explorers had to offer. Mira smiled approvingly and suggested they also include environmental awareness training, teaching both groups to navigate the intricacies of Vexar-9's ecosystem. Together, they could foster a deeper understanding of the land they inhabited, learning to protect not just their community, but the very environment that sustained them. Over the following weeks, the training sessions became a regular occurrence, blending laughter with learning as humans and explorers sparred side by side. They celebrated each other's victories and shared in the challenges that arose. Through this camaraderie, they grew stronger together, forming bonds that transcended species. One afternoon during a training session, Kale noticed a group of children watching with wide eyes. Inspired by the spirit of cooperation, he turned to Mira and proposed a youth mentorship program, allowing the children to learn from both humans and explorers. This initiative would ensure the next generation was equipped with the knowledge and skills necessary to thrive in their world. Mira's eyes sparkled with excitement as she agreed wholeheartedly. This program would cultivate a sense of unity from a young age, fostering friendships and understanding that would carry into the future. They quickly organized a gathering to share the idea with the community. The response was overwhelmingly positive, as parents recognized the value of teaching their children to work together. As the mentorship program took shape, Kale marveled at the creativity and enthusiasm of the young ones. They participated in training exercises, learning combat skills, technology, and the importance of environmental stewardship. The laughter and energy of the children filled the settlement with a sense of hope that was infectious. Through their collaborative efforts, the humans and explorers created a vibrant community that celebrated diversity and resilience. Together, they learned to navigate the complexities of their world while fostering relationships that would withstand the test of time. The council became a symbol of their unity, a beacon of understanding that guided their path forward. In these moments of collaboration and learning, Kale realized that true strength lay not in isolation, but in connection. It was the understanding of one another's struggles and triumphs that formed the foundation of their alliance. The journey they had embarked upon was not merely a quest for survival, but a celebration of the shared human spirit that transcended the stars, uniting them all. As the mentorship program flourished, the settlement transformed into a hub of activity. Laughter and learning filled the air as humans and explorers worked together to foster a sense of community that was both nurturing and empowering. The children thrived under the guidance of their mentors, absorbing lessons of resilience, cooperation, and innovation. Kale often found himself reflecting on how far they had come from their initial encounter with Mira and her community. The journey had been filled with challenges, But each obstacle had forged a bond that united them in ways they had never anticipated. The strength of their alliance now resonated throughout the settlement like a powerful song. One day, while gathering for the council meeting, Mira proposed a celebration to honor their achievements, a festival that would bring together the entire community, showcasing their diverse cultures and the collaborative spirit that had become their foundation. The idea sparked excitement among the attendees as they began to brainstorm ideas for the event. They envisioned a day filled with music, dance, storytelling, and the sharing of food from both human and explorer traditions. The festival would serve as a reminder of their journey together and a celebration of the resilience that defined them. Old Kale felt a sense of pride as he listened to their ideas taking shape. As the festival approached, the atmosphere in the settlement buzzed with anticipation. Preparations were made with enthusiasm as everyone contributed their skills to create a memorable event. Mira and the humans gathered ingredients for traditional dishes, while the explorers worked on a spectacular display of light using their advanced technology. On the day of the festival, the sun shone brightly, casting a warm glow over the gathering place. Decorated with vibrant banners and colorful lights, the air was filled with the delicious aromas of food mingling with the sounds of laughter and music as humans and explorers came together to celebrate their unity. As the festivities began, Mira stepped forward to address the crowd, her voice ringing clear over the joyful chaos. She spoke of the challenges they had faced and how those challenges had brought them together. She emphasized the importance of understanding and compassion, reminding everyone that their journey was just beginning. Kale watched as the crowd erupted in cheers, their voices a symphony of hope and resilience. In that moment, he understood the significance of this celebration. It was more than just a festival, it was a testament to the power of unity and the legacy they were building together for generations to come. As night fell, the stars twinkled overhead, illuminating the faces of those gathered. The explorers set up their light display, creating a breathtaking spectacle that captivated everyone. The children squealed with delight as the lights danced in the sky, their eyes reflecting the wonder of the moment. Throughout the evening, stories were shared, laughter echoed, and friendships deepened as the humans and explorers celebrated their shared humanity in the face of adversity. They understood that the world was vast and filled with challenges, but together they could overcome anything. As the festival drew to a close, Kale felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over him. He had come to Vexor 9 seeking knowledge and adventure, but what he found was something far more valuable, a community bound by resilience and hope, a family that transcended the stars. In the weeks that followed, the spirit of the festival lingered in the settlement. The lessons learned and connections forged continued to thrive as the humans and explorers worked side by side, building a future grounded in understanding and collaboration. They were no longer just inhabitants of Vexor 9 but guardians of its legacy, a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of unity in a universe that often felt chaotic. Together they looked toward the horizon, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them, knowing that as long as they stood united, their resilience would carry them through the darkest of times, forging a path of hope for those who would follow in their footsteps, a legacy of resilience that would echo through the stars.